This is an Alfa Romeo Giulietta Veloce, a very pretty Italian little hot hatch, a car that I've wanted to try for an awful long time, but I've always been put off by the idea that this might not be the easiest car to sell. So when I was offered one of these cars by James Harding at Chops Garage, I initially decided that I would pass up on this, thinking that it'd probably be a bit too much of a hard sell for me, as previous Alfas haven't sold very quickly and it's probably a bit of a self-indulgence. That said though, when I actually came back to it, gave it some time and actually ran the figures through Auto Trade, it actually has a really healthy Auto Trader retail rating. I'd probably be looking at quite a healthy margin too, but the thing that always puts me off when I look at Alfa Romeos is looking at Veloces of London, which seems to be an Alfa Romeo dealership that for some reason has had their cars in stock for an awful long time. 1,852 days on this particular one. Now I don't know if this dealership's gone under and perhaps they're still just paying their Auto Trader bill, or perhaps they keep selling different cars under pictures of old cars. I really don't know, but it does make you wonder when a dealership's had a car in stock for 5 years. But if I don't let this worry me, then no one else has had them in stock for very long, and all of the data looks like it should be a good buy. So that's why I'm back on the M5, heading down to deepest, darkest Devon once again. We were just discussing, I haven't been down to Chops Garage ever before, maybe a couple of weeks ago, and this will be my third time visiting. But James gets offered some really interesting main dealer part exchange stuff, and he gets offered stuff via his subscribers on YouTube as well. So I guess what I'm trying to say is make sure you go to carsboughtformore.com and offer them to me, so I haven't got to keep going to Devon. That'd be lovely. What we're driving down there today to make this journey a bit easier is our lovely 2013 BMW 730D. I have borrowed this in advance of whoever is going to win it in our competition. We only have about 1,500 tickets left of the 12,000. In fact, by the time this video comes out, I'm not even sure there will be any tickets. If you haven't bought your tickets already, they're only £1 each. If you buy 20, you'll get 10 free, and you can get an extra 10% off using the code Toby10. And I promise not to put too many more miles on it now. I just wanted something nice to drive down to Devon. We've got about an hour ahead of us to go and see this Alfa, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it. So we're just going to get this journey done, and we'll see you when we get there. There she is. I love the look of the seats on this thing. Interestingly, the garage that I mentioned, Veloce's or whatever it is, that seems to have these things, or like a load of Alfas in stock for years, just come from there. Veloce's of London. Maybe they just keep the same ones advertised all the time and they've got loads of different stock. Look at the seats, Tobes. Oh, well, they're heated.
So Alfa Romeo you come to pick up today.
Yeah.
What
Beauty.
a beast.
I've always fancied one of these, but never have. And then, do you know what's funny is looking at these, I mean, they're not normally like the best retail rated cars, the Alfas, because they tend to take quite a while to sell. Like the one I had before, the Giulia,
Yeah.
that took a little while.
Mine
I
always
absolutely
sold really
loved that. I
quickly.
thought that was gorgeous. Yeah, but I don't know when it comes to the value, when you get like 10 grand plus maybe.
Well, that one. As soon as I put a picture of that on Instagram, I got a lot of messages in asking me how much. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much people think they're worth. That's in trouble with people say how much.
That's the thing, isn't it? Yeah.
But I mean, it's hell of it. I had one of these with a diesel in, and I loved it. And this is the TBI engine. If you're an Alfa nut, and I am a bit of an Alfa nut, the 1750 TBI engine is probably the best modern Alfa engine they've got out there. It's the same engine as in the 4C sports car.
Yeah.
But they just put it, I mean, this has probably got the same map as that's got on it now to take it to 300 horsepower.
Because you know more about Alfas than I do, so it is a 1750cc 4-cylinder, is it?
Yeah, TBI, yeah. But that's the car, that engine they're using, the 4C. I had it in a 159 before. That was a really nice car. But the thing I've always liked about a TBI engine, it's got the torque of a diesel. It's got that low down grunt, but obviously then it will still rev. And this thing here, the turning on this, I don't know what he did with the spring shock combo on the front, but the turning on it is wicked. It's got really, I mean, you'll just probably do some video footage.
Is this one you bought from a subscriber?
No, a local guy.
Oh, okay.
Local guy lived up in Torrington up the road. He'd been recommended by somebody else to buy it from me. Now, Alfas, you buy an Alfa on the previous owner. They're one of the sports Alfas, not the run-of-the-mill Alfas. The fast Alfas, I'd always recommend someone buys them off the Alfa forums or the Alfa clubs. You want to buy it off someone who knows what they're sort of foibles are, and a lot of them they'll do preemptive maintenance on them, which is like, well, this guy has. They know what the things are going to need to be done. They do it in advance, and they do all the right modifications. Like he's got the gearbox reprogram on it, which it's quite lazy and standard. But this with the remap on so it's actually software for the gearbox. The changes are so snappy.
Yeah.
It's as good as a I'd say that's now as good as a DSG.
Yeah.
Changing wise, yeah, and it's just the right combination. It's not rock hard on ride. He's done like the freer flow air filter, but he's put it in the original airbox. There's not some horrible aftermarket thing sticking out the bonnet. And then the remap has been done by Celtic Tuning, which are the guys for Alfas. If you're going to get it done by anybody, you want to get it done by Celtic.
Being an Alfa man, do you know anything about the Veloces of London?
Yes, yeah.
Are they still going?
The dealership, yeah, they're still going, yeah.
Because the thing is, when I looked for my Giulia, and obviously this Giulietta, you do the like Auto Trader retail rating, and it always comes up with Veloces of London, and they'll have one of these that they've had for like, I can't even remember what it said now, but like 1,500 days with no price change. Same with the Giulia, and I don't know if they just keep the same adverts on or what. I thought it was some old guy's garage and he'd passed on and they were still taking the money out of his account or something.
There's just certain models that you just got to know the models, and if they're probably sitting on the right model, they won't have to reduce the price if it's a certain engine thing. But the thing I loved about this one is this guy, he was a bit of an engineer, because I went into his workshop when I picked it up, and it had a full service history before he got it, but then he just started recording apps and everything. So it picks up at 2019 when he got it, and he's literally diaried every single thing he's done right the way through. And like he was describing to me when he did the cam belt, you know, like
I'll laminate that, because the next person will like that.
Oh, that's what you're buying this car for.
Do you know what that's like when we had a Volvo and the chap had laminated everything and all the service history he'd laminated and put it in a ring binder. You know, when someone really cares.
He hasn't written in the book, he didn't write this in the service book, but I guess things like this: test intercooler and hoses, remove exhaust manifold, heat shield, check turbo vane linear for wear, clean air filter. It's just like, well, if you bought this car and you said someone had done some modifications to it, you'd normally worried that was a young person that didn't know what they were doing. But this guy knows his Alfas, he knows what to do, and all this stuff. And like when he was talking about doing the cam belt on it, he was saying, I wouldn't take it to main dealer to the cam belt, because when I strip the cam belt off, I like to clean everything behind it, re-clean it all, and you just wouldn't get out of main dealer because they're timed, aren't they? It's just going to be like so. But he did give me all the standard stuff just in case it needs to go. Anybody wanted it to go back. I got the original map for the gearbox. I don't know why you'd want to do that. And I think it's the full 300 when you go into, because it's got the DNA on it.
Yeah.
So you've got dynamic is when it's 300. When it's in N normal, it's just a 240.
Oh, okay. We'll test that out in a minute.
Hell of a bit of car.
Yeah.
Another one I probably should retail myself, to be perfectly honest, but it fits in with your stock nicely, doesn't it?
Keep them coming.
Keep them coming. We should have a little wonder. Mind you, you've got nothing else that's probably interesting for you, is it? Sporty enough. There's the logbook.
Thank you.
There's the keys. You've got all the service history in the back, and the handbooks in the back.
Yeah, I'll send you some money. Oh well, you got an extra $5,000 in your bank account now from that car, so.
And it's for $5,000. I hope
That's
it
right.
sounds like more than that.
So we're about halfway back now on the M5 in this Giulietta, and on the whole, I do like it. There are some things I don't like, but as far as hot hatches go, it's got to be one of the coolest. It's got a really nice interior. I absolutely love these seats. I know it's going to bore some of you, me talking about heated seats, but they're keeping me very comfortable right now. They're really nice cushioning seats. They're not overly bucketed, but they look really aggressive and sporty. I'm not a massive fan of the shifters. They're very small, they're very plastic. And in fact, I'm not a massive fan of the steering wheel either. It reminds me very much of a Fiat Punto steering wheel. And I think actually these switches are Fiat. They are, if they're not the same, they are very, very similar looking. I expect something's been leaking. Right, so our 7 Series has sprung a coolant leak unfortunately. We were doing some little shots rolling along, getting some footage there, and thought we could see some steam coming out from underneath. I think the thermostat housing has split or something. You can see it sprayed water out. So we're going to have to leave that here in North Petherton and continue on in the Alfa. Thank God we've got the trusty old reliable Italian car. So I have to give you my thoughts on it with the guys here. And we can all share our thoughts on it. Should we tell you what, should we put it into dynamic mode and then... How about that? So basically, before all this drama happened, I think I was saying that the steering wheel's a bit disappointing. It looks like it's come directly out of a Fiat Punto, and you might tell me it has, because definitely these buttons are Punto style, or Punto Evo style. They're definitely, I recognise those. But otherwise, interior is very nice. The interior finishes are nice. Got a weird sort of little cubby hole thing up here. Does it have a charger in it? No. So, a bit useless, but yeah. I don't like the flappy paddles. They're very small and just feel like they should be metal, but they're not. Gearbox is pretty good. It feels a bit lazy when you go to pull away, but otherwise, once you got used to it, it's fine. It makes some nice kind of wompy, not quite DSG farts. I don't know what you describe it as. DSG whomps. It's definitely quick, so quick the 7 Series even couldn't keep up and it started sweating. It's quite firm, but it's still comfortable. The seats are nice. I don't know what the seats like in the back, Jace.
Yeah, they're really nice.
Very
Plastic
nice.
is weird.
Plastic bit in the back of the seats is a bit weird, but I'm sure you get used to that. Road noise is quite strong. Obviously we have got lowered springs and shock absorbers on here, which I don't know whether to go back to standard or not. You can let us know in the comments. I think what we'll do is when we end this video, we'll just leave it on like a little cinematic shot of this in the showroom. I think it looks good. We have got the standard parts there, so I don't think it looks bad the way it is, to be honest. I'm enjoying the tune on it as well. It just feels quite, what does it remind me of? It reminds me a bit of Fiesta ST / Fiat 500, kind of angry little 4-cylinder waspy type thing, but just slightly cooler and sexier, I think. So time will tell how well it sells, whether this was a good investment. I feel like I should have about £2,500 to £3,000 margin in this maybe, but time will tell. But I guess we'll leave it there for this video. If you have enjoyed it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. I'm giving away a £4,000 Tudor watch to one of my subscribers as soon as we hit 100,000. That's completely free. And don't forget to enter the raffle for the 730D. If there are any tickets left, we will have fixed it by this point, don't worry. I'll leave you with some lovely cinematic shots of this Alfa Romeo Giulietta Veloce. It's very fun to say, although you feel a bit pretentious, and we will see you in the next video.